Welcome to this video from GEM Motoring Assist. As we get older, we all get more aches and pains, don't we? You know, reduced flexibility, more stiffness in our joints is all part of growing older. But if this affects our ability to get in and out of our vehicles easily or compromises our safety when driving, it's definitely worth exploring some ideas that'll make our lives a little bit easier. If you're an older driver, you may get the feeling that your car doesn't fit the way it used to. So maybe it's time to explore the possibilities of swapping it for something that's more comfortable and appropriate for your needs. Something with a high roofline tends to be more accessible if the step up into it is okay for you. It's a very personal choice. This is my own car, and I'll find anything lower than this roofline I have real difficulties getting into. There are plenty of cars with higher rooflines around, such as the Honda Jazz, Fiat Doblo, Skoda Roomster, or maybe an MPV would suit your lifestyle. We visited Wessex Drivability near Southampton, where they suggested the Ford B-Max. It has a big sliding door, so there's no middle pillar to get in the way. Plus, the B-Max can be adapted by qualified experts to install a rotating seat like this, not just on the passenger side, but on the driver's side as well, as the lack of a middle pillar means the rotating seat can move back more.
We'd always recommend that people go and try lots of different vehicles because a lot of the specifications on vehicles themselves could assist one person in getting in and out or moving around once they're in the vehicle. So different shaped seats, flat seats as opposed to contour seats. And for stowage into a boot, obviously level boot access is easier to put things in and out, such as mobility aids or just your shopping. You haven't got to reach up and in so much. A lot of people come here with driving difficulties when in actual fact the seating is the main issue. And reach rake on the steering wheel itself allows you to get into a more comfortable position. If you're not sitting well and your back's not supported and your heel's not supported, you're going to get backache straight away.
We all have completely different needs from each other, and that's why it's very important for you to do your own research and to talk to independent experts. And be careful when you're talking to car dealers. Make sure that they don't just represent one brand or one kind of car, so you've got the maximum pool of cars for you to choose from.
You know, we would look at possibly a change of vehicle from a manual to an automatic possibly, that would alleviate the need and the necessity for constant gear changes, particularly if you're caught in traffic jams where you're doing multiple gear changes. Cruise control, which could help on longer journeys to ease the process of driving and take away some of the strain.
Now maybe the cost of changing your car is prohibitive. Let's take a look at some ideas, some gadgets and devices that we can use with our own vehicles. Now, when you get into your car, do you hold on to the door or even the steering wheel? Well, they're not designed to be grabbed, and also you could damage your car. This has got a handy bar, and this simply goes into the door latch and it gives a nice secure handle for helping to get in and out of your vehicle. At Wessex Drivability, they advise on the ability of fitness to drive of people who have a range of different physical and mental medical conditions. They also advise on adaptations to vehicles, so we asked what tips they would have for drivers who are losing flexibility.
There are pieces of equipment on the market that might help someone turn once they're within the car. We need to look at the safety element that goes with that as well. Sitting on a carrier bag is probably not a good idea due to the issues of safety if you had to do an emergency stop. But there are pieces of equipment that are secured to the seat that will allow some movement within the seat once you climb into the car.
This adaptation, called an auto slide, is quite useful. You can get circular ones as well, but this one is advantageous in that it sits over the edge of the seat. So when the person sits on it, it won't ruck up. They can sit on there, and then as they move in, it very easily slide. This is attached to the seat, and we recommend that any cushion that you use or any transfer aid like this must be attached to the seat. And this is specifically made for getting in and out of a car.
Another thing with old age is that people sometimes have slightly reduced rotation, and their neck rotation may reduce a little bit as well, which means looking in the mirrors becomes possibly a little bit harder. Simple things that can be altered would be something called a panoramic mirror that clips over the existing interior mirror that produces a much wider field of vision.
In addition to that, blind spot mirrors, or instead of the panoramic mirror, the blind spot mirrors, again, cover that area by popping on top of your standard wing mirror.
And this leg lifter could be helpful for passengers.
Looks like a dog lead without a dog, but can be very useful for assisting somebody perhaps who's got stiffened joints in the knee or the ankle and having difficulty getting their foot up and over the sill into the car. You slot it over your toe and it just gives that extra little bit of lift to your foot to lift up into the footwell.
So what about vehicle seat belts?
If you have a two-door car, you tend to find the seatbelt situated quite far back, or if you've got any restriction on your rotation of your neck or trunk, it's quite difficult sometimes to pull the seatbelt. This just attaches itself around the seatbelt and gives you a little bit of extra reach. So you can pull on that and then get hold of the seatbelt, and it just stays attached when it's plugged in. It's quite soft. If the seatbelt cuts into your neck at all, then this is a little soft cover that can go around it and just protects your neck. Some other adaptations to the actual seatbelt, which some people find useful, is an extension. They come in a couple of sizes. So this just extends the length of your seatbelt should you find that you need it longer than the standard seatbelt that's in your car.
And are you sitting comfortably?
You might have chosen your car as an ideal car for you, but in one aspect the seat itself might not be suitable due to your height or the fact that it's quite contoured and bucket shape. And you might find a wedge cushion such as this just lifts you into the position that you need and just make sure that it is attached to the back of the seat.
So it's time to hit the road. But beforehand, take the time to plan any long journeys or trips on unfamiliar roads and also to plan your breaks and comfort stops. Plan to travel when traffic is light and stick to the types of roads that suit you best, and consider postponing the journey if the weather conditions are poor. Now, let's pack the car. Think about safe stowage of equipment and luggage on a journey. Don't just throw this in the back of the car. This could be a lethal missile if the car brakes suddenly or if you're involved in a collision. Take time to think about where you're putting things and put bags like this safely in the back. Finally, as well as your car, why not give your body an MOT?
Things alter, our physical ability changes, and therefore it's worth having a check every now and then just to make sure everything is okay and it is still safe for us to continue driving.
All the ideas in this video are designed to help you adapt to the sort of changes that happen to all of us as we get older. Wherever possible, we want to make it easy and convenient. But safety has to come first, and there's absolutely no excuse for anyone of any age driving without being fully in control of their vehicle, being able to look all around and deal with all the hazards that pop up on a journey. But for now, we hope we've given you some ideas to give you many more happy years of motoring. Thank you for watching. Safety comes first on every journey. Make sure you're in full control and you have the best possible all-round visibility. Get regular health checkups. Eye tests are free for over 60s, so why not book a test each year? If you're experiencing aches and pains when driving, talk to your GP at an early stage. For details of a mobility centre near you, take a look at www.mobility-centres.org.uk. The Driver and Vehicle Licensing Agency website, that's www.gov.uk, has useful advice on health conditions. GEM's Still Safe to Drive resource has a range of useful information for senior drivers and their family members. Visit www.stillsafetodrive.org.uk.